Hey yo, I'm going to give a quick look around my hangar here. For starters, this is the second tier of hangars. It's the business class hangar. I personally think it looks better than the deluxe hangar, which is supposedly the better hangar, but the deluxe hangar looks very industrial and has like a yellow fog throughout the whole thing, so I really think this one looks a lot better. As you can see, I have 3 ships. Up close is the RSI Aurora LX, and the Origin 350R, and then the MSI Freelancer. And so we'll just kind of start up close and then go to the back. So the Aurora is the lowest tier of pleasure ships. This is the Aurora LX. It's a luxury edition that they had during a special promotion. This is the starter ship, and so if you bought the game after it came out, this would be the ship you'd start with. You know, they said their goal was, even though, caution, spring-loaded seat, adjust only when occupied. Sure. They said, even though it's the starter ship, their intention was to make it, you know, a unique experience all its own, and, you know, not just treat it like a ship that you're racing to get out of as soon as possible. So, effort goes into everything, I suppose. That's got a nice big open field of view. Some placeholder graphics that you'll see on all the computer terminals we go by. It looks good. Alright. So there's the cockpit. Of course, here is the airlock. I suppose there's 2 depending on which way you wanted to dock. And then here is the bunk. They actually just patched it so we can get into the bunk. It's very clippy getting in here though. I think Chris said that this was an earlier build than he had ever dreamed of showing a producer in any of his other projects. So it kind of gives you an idea of what an early look they're giving backers at what they're making and putting together. So that's definitely very much appreciated. So here you go, laying in the bunk. In some promotional material, there was a computer display that came down here that said you could check, you know, the essential parts of your ship from. I of course see no computer display in there, but you know, in the future, I suppose. So there we go. We have a little bunk. It's a good-looking ship. Now you can use an exit animation here, but you can also just like jump in and out of the ship too, so the animations seem entirely optional. See, I'll show you. Oh. You don't have to use the animations. Nothing's stopping you from just jumping in and out of the ship. I suppose they look fancier though. So there you have it. That is the Aurora LX. Even though I got some higher pledge tier of ships that were spiffier, I had to keep this one because, in my opinion, this is still one of the sexiest ships they've made. It's just, I find it very, very beautiful. I also find this one beautiful though. Who wouldn't? It looks like some sort of high-tech fighter jet. This is in the Origin 300 series. This is the 350R. There's 4 ships in the 300 series. There is the, let's see here, there's the 300i, which is the base model. Then there's the 315P, which is an exploration-focused model. Then the 325A, which is a combat and dogfighting focused model. And then the 350R, which is the racing model. And I, of course, am in the 350R. So they've said that there's going to be like a fold-down bunk in the back here. I don't see where. Maybe here? I really don't know. It's obviously not here yet. Come up here and sit in the cockpit. You'll see that these ships have a very large open field of view, which is really nice, and I'm sure that will come in handy when we can actually fly it. So here you go. Nice big cockpit, and then full field of view, which is really, really sweet. All these ships in the 300 series, they're all packages of each other. Just as this ship comes with a different package, different items already on it, and a different paint job. Except for this 350R. Its whole back end here is actually different let's hop down here, so that it has 2 thrusters. So while in all technicality, if you had a 300i, you could buy the items and the weapons and the tools to make it into a 325A, lacking the paint job though, I suspect. But you can't turn a 300i into a 350R because the whole back end is actually different. So in some ways, it's actually its own ship. Stands a little outside the rest of the series. So here you go. That is the 350R. And last but not least is the MSI Freelancer. It's got quite a bit more cargo space than the other ships, of course. But I'm not sure I would call it a dedicated cargo ship. I'm not sure it has enough room for that. But it seems very multi-purpose, I suppose. You can see it's got missiles mounted, big gun on both sides. In the back, there is a manned turret, and yeah, looks like here's another hard point for attaching stuff. Perhaps a tractor beam. I'm not a professional, I don't know. Alright, so here's coming into the ship. Here's a small cargo hold. And here's a computer terminal. My best guess is controlling the crane, maybe. On the left we got a sink, which is important because on the right we have a toilet. Got to keep up hygiene. Oh, and a shower. That also keep up hygiene even in space. And then we've got 2 benches. Of course, more placeholder graphics here, but I have no idea what they're for. Maybe someone smarter than me does. And 2 closets with shirts. There's 4 bunks, 2 below, 2 above, and lots of storage. Storage. More storage up there. Some below the bunks. Guess you need lots of storage if you're going to be staying in space for a while. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 seats. Matches up with the 4 bunks. Imagine that. And we can get in these seats up here. There you go. Not quite the same field of view as the 350R, but I think that's very much expected. I've seen some people really complaining about this thing's field of view, but to me it seems just about right. So there we go. That's the front end of the ship. And then the back end is the larger cargo hold. Again, another computer terminal here. I'm going to guess crane operating. And then in the very back, you can't get in the turret yet. I know it says use. That's actually for this. Can't get in the turret yet. I suppose that's coming in a future patch. And there you go. The back opens up. Important to have this door here, I suppose, if you were going to jettison your cargo, and not jettison yourself, that is. So here you go, that's the MSI Freelancer. Very good looking ship. And I guess a few more features in the hangar. Working elevators. Everybody likes elevators. Oh wait, I think the door's behind me. There we go. So it just leads up here to a corridor. Serves no purpose other than that. There is a door down here at the end of the corridor, but of course it goes to nowhere. Planning for the future, I suppose. Come down here. Call up the elevator. There we go. And one last thing. There's this terminal that you're supposed to be able to like select your weapons and equip them onto ships and whatnot, but I can't get it to do anything. Yeah. It does turn off the light over here, which is kind of cool. You can see the Aurora in all of its unlit glory. Looks good, actually. And I suppose that's all, folks.